Welcome back to the latest edition of Conference Chatter TV. My name is Eric Sorrentino. I'm the KUSports.com Big 12 blogger, and we are one day away from the 2010 BCS Championship game. It's going to be number 1 Alabama against number 2 Texas. It's going to be Thursday at 7 p.m. and the Crimson Tide open as a 4-point favorite. My record on the year in picking Big 12 games, that's what we've been doing in this video blog. It's 81-23 leading up to this game, picking it a 77.9% accuracy rate. So I cannot wait to get this one going in Pasadena, California, site of the Rose Bowl. It's two of the most historic teams in college football when you look at Texas and Alabama. The Longhorns, 4 national championships, that last one coming in 2005. Alabama, 12 national championships, with its last one coming in 1992. Both teams will be able to use that chip on the shoulder card. For Texas, it's that everyone seems to be picking Alabama in this game. And, the fact that the Longhorns looked rather mediocre in edging Nebraska in the Big 12 championship game. For Alabama, it's the fact that, the Crimson Tide, they've never beat Texas. They're 0-7-1 all time against the Horns. And also the fact that Alabama, they played so well against Florida that it's been said that surely that's the best they've played all season and the best they will play all season. Can they get even better than that? So, some motivation right there for Alabama as well. Another thing when you look at this matchup, 2 great coaches. Mack Brown, the class of the Big 12 right now. He's 128-26 in his 12 years in Austin. He's won 5 straight bowl games. 3 of those were BCS games, and 1 of those was a national championship. So he's had a great career. Then when you look at Nick Saban, 3rd year in Tuscaloosa, he's compiled a 32-8 record. This is his 2nd straight BCS appearance. Last year, Alabama lost in the Sugar Bowl to Utah. So two coaches that are familiar with the BCS atmosphere. And when you look at the matchups of conferences, there's no denying the SEC has owned the Big 12 the last 2 bowl seasons. Let's just take a look at this real quick. Last year's Cotton Bowl, Ole Miss 47, Texas Tech 34. Last year's BCS Championship, Florida 24, Oklahoma 14. This year's Independence Bowl, Georgia 44, Texas A&M 20. And finally, this year's Cotton Bowl, Ole Miss 27, Ole Miss 21, Oklahoma State 7. So, who will win this year's BCS Championship? I myself am picking Texas, and why not? I've gone with several favorites this bowl season, and I've been burned in doing that. I'm going with the Longhorns in this. For one, I think the Texas defense is too disciplined and too good, quite honestly, to let this game become a blowout. I envision a close, low-scoring defensive battle for the BCS Championship here between 2 teams with outstanding defenses. You start with Alabama, 2nd in the country in scoring defense, only 11 points allowed per game. They're 2nd in the country in rushing defense, which is rather impressive when you play in the SEC, and Terrence Mount Cody is a beast there in the middle. But Texas does not run the football. Texas passes to set up the run. And Alabama's defense, it's good. It's great, probably. But when you look at it, the only offense Alabama has faced all year, ranked in the top 40 in pass offense, was Arkansas and quarterback Ryan Mallett. This is, for Texas, a complicated, precise passing offense that Greg Davis and Texas implement. They're going to need to be precise to beat the Crimson Tide, and I think they can do that. Colt McCoy, the experience factor, I think he's going to have a good game. This should also, I think, be a solid matchup for the Texas defense. Alabama, it's no secret. They like to run the football and run the football often. You got Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram back there, 1,542 yards, 15 touchdowns on the season. But Texas, they can stop the run. Number 1 in the country in rushing defense with only 62 yards surrendered per game. They must contain Ingram in this game and force quarterback Greg McElroy to challenge that's the secondary of Texas. It's a great secondary with the Longhorns. When you look at Earl Thomas, who is my pick for Big 12 Player of the Year, and that includes offense or defensive players for me. Earl Thomas was sensational, 2nd in the country with 8 interceptions, 2 of those returned for scores. If I'm Texas, I'm going to force Alabama to beat me in the air. You look at Will Muschamp, defensive coordinator for the Horns. He was the former LSU defensive coordinator under Nick Saban, so he's relatively familiar with the opposing coach with Alabama. I think that can only be to the advantage of Texas. The Texas defense, I think, should be a constant. They've played great all year. There's no reason they shouldn't play a very good to great game again in the BCS Championship game, which really brings us to Colt McCoy. This is where Texas will win this football game. To me, if McCoy is on target, hitting his receivers, and running with the football when necessary, Texas can win this football game. This season, Texas, they've had a bit more of a cautious approach with McCoy running the ball, not wanting him to get injured. And I understand that, but all bets are off for this game. If there's room to run, McCoy must take advantage and hit those running lanes, because there are few running lanes when you play the Alabama defense. McCoy, he must be on top of his game for UT to win, and I think he can go out there and do that. I think he can have a great game. A lot was made about how Texas finished the year, barely escaping Nebraska in the Big 12 championship. I don't necessarily buy into all of that. It's not like Texas won't make any adjustments after that game. It's not like Texas is going to trot the same team that faced Nebraska out there with the very same game plan against Alabama. This is Mac Brown and this is Texas. Adjustments will be made. And look at Nebraska, for instance. The Huskers weren't exactly hitting on all cylinders either in the Big 12 championship game, particularly on offense. They made adjustments, came out and clobbered Arizona 33-0 in the Holiday Bowl. So, to me, Texas just getting by and edging Nebraska was quite honestly no different than Alabama needing 2 blocked field goals to beat Tennessee at home. Or, Alabama needing that late drive to beat Auburn. These are just 2 teams, Alabama and Texas, that know how to win. They've done it all season. They're both 13-0. And even when they don't play their best games, they've come out victorious this season. And this is why they're playing in the BCS Championship game. I think it's going to be a great game here. I look for Texas to narrowly win, with Colt McCoy leading the final drive and Hunter Lawrence booting a game-winning field goal for Texas. I'm going Texas 23, Alabama 20. I cannot wait for this one. I hope, I know, everybody who's watching it, feel free to join me at kusports.com, where I will be keeping a live game blog of the BCS Championship game. So feel free to post your comments on there and, talk about the BCS title. It's going to be a good one. I think that's all the time I have for today. My name is Eric Sorrentino. I am signing off. Everybody enjoy the BCS Championship game, and I will come back after to reflect on it. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a good one.